Greetings, Earthlings, ghouls, and aliens. Welcome to the Poet Warriors. I am your host this evening. I am the Bibby. And this is another little video talking about our friend and our beloved theatre practitioner, Konstantin Stanislavski. Right? And today, we're going to get into his seven questions. I know in the previous video, if you haven't watched my previous video on Stanislavski, we talk about Stanislavski and his preaching method of making choices as an actor. I'll leave the link down below in the description. Go watch that video first before you come here, because I think that's... or maybe don't. Either watch it now and come back, or watch it after this one. But you should definitely watch both of these, because it's going to help you a lot. This is the other kind of like main preaching point of Konstantin Stanislavski. Konstantin Stanislavski. So we talked about his methodology of choices. God, I cannot talk today. Of choices. Now we're going to talk about his 7 questions. So these are 7 questions that he believed every actor or every actor in a performance should ask themselves to help further deepen themselves into the role. A lot of what Stanislavski did is this further deepening into character work, as opposed to, I suppose, acting craft development. Like when we're going to look at some other practitioners, we're going to look at like Adler and, different styles. There are practitioners that further your craft, and there are practitioners that further your like character development. Stanislavski is definitely more character development driven, I suppose. But I say that, but in doing this, you're bettering your craft, because you're changing the way of which you approach a character, which is absolutely relevant. So, I mean, they all do better your craft. Don't come at me in the comments. So I've got them up here just so I can get them hitting the nail on the head. So we're just going to run through these questions. I'll run through them as a whole, and then we're going to go into a little bit more detail in like each one. So the 7 questions are: who am I? Where am I? What do I want? When do I want? Why do I want? How will I get it? And what do I need to overcome to get what I want? Right? Powerful stuff. Write this down. Those are some knee-up notes. Ain't that right, Eggy? She's licking herself. She's a cat. She's a cat. So, who am I? Right? We don't have to go like too much into detail there. Who am I? I always come I always come to Mark Antony of Julius Caesar. I don't know why. I don't know why he's my go-to example. I don't know why. Why don't we spice it up? Why don't we say we're Dr. Faustus? We're Faust and Dr. Faustus. How about that? How about them apples? Who am I? Am I a husband? Am I a wife? Am I a child? Do I have reputation? Do I not have reputation? Am I poor? Am I rich? Am I afflicted? Am I healthy? Am I sick? These are all valid questions, right? You want to be accurate to the piece, or if you've got creative freedom, then you can kick it up a notch. Give yourself some kind of infliction, right? Who am I? Be clear on that for yourself, right? And what choices can I make to display who I am, to convey who I am, right? These questions, I suppose, are a bit more personal, but if you do these right, the audience are going to get in on this, right? Where am I? This one I would like to focus on a little bit more than the others. Not for any given reason, other than typically in our craft, actors do not work on environment. And, this is applicable to mainline Hollywood actors. This is applicable to the West End, to Broadway, to California theater actors, right? Even like professional actors struggle with this. And I believe it's probably for a lack of knowledge. The industry is also very focused, especially on film, of like pretty boys and not talented boys, but we ain't gonna get into that. Where am I? Environment is probably the most important and the most underused tool in an actor's arsenal, right? You want to see environment. When I'm out there and, like, say I'm on a show, I'm in a show, or, I am watching a show, a theater show, you want to be able to be given the full picture. You want to give the actors around you that you're working with the full picture. And you need them to be consistent in what you're doing too, because otherwise, what are we doing, right? Where am I? Am I indoors? Am I outdoors? Is it cold? Is it hot? Unbearably so? Or is it comfortably so? Is it raining? Is the sun above me? Is the moon above me? Right? Is the wind blowing? Is it brutal? Is it cutting me as it rushes past me? Right? Do I have to speak over something like that, the wind, or my cat? These are all questions that you need to ask yourselves as actors. Environment is hugely important. Think about continuity errors in shows, right? Probably one of the most famous being, the Starbucks coffee cup on the Game of Thrones set, right? Is an actor cut on their face and bleeding in one camera angle? It goes to the next, and then it comes back to them and they're not bleeding, right? These are all big, huge, distracting things. A lot of people don't notice them. Performers like us will notice them. These are really, really important things, right? Same with environment, right? It goes the same for the actors working around us. Like I said, if I'm out here and I'm like, oh God, it's cold, right? I'm reacting to that cold, or the wind is loud, so I'm picking up my voice because, I need you to be able to hear me over this because what I'm saying is important. And the other actor doesn't do anything with that, or vice versa. Another actor's doing it and I'm not picking up on that and reacting to it, right? The substance of the scene starts to crumble and fall apart because nobody understands what's going on, right? These are important things. Likewise, if in the dialogue especially, sometimes I've seen full-on professional shows where the actors are like, oh, are we ever going to get over this brutal winter? And you don't see any infliction of the winter on them. Right? You're not selling that. You can't sell that with your voice alone. Where are you? Environment. Okay. Further character development. Okay, what do I want and when do I want it? We're going to piece these two together. So this is like your character motivation, which is obviously hugely important. And I mean, a lot of the times, this is just given to you, through the script. And if it's not, you need to be able to develop that yourself. Your motivation is everything. If you're just, that's the difference between an actor just saying lines and an actor putting meaning and emotion behind lines, right? If I'm saying, say I'm Annie in Annie. And I'm like, oh, I really want some parents. I really want a family that loves me, And that doesn't mean anything to just read those words. You've got to put power and meaning behind those words. What do you want? I want that family. I want to do this. When do I want to get it? That's the urgency, right? And I put these two things together because your character motivation means nothing. Even if you put emotion into it, even if you put power to it, feeling to it, it means nothing unless you put urgency to it, or that that's to come, right? Those are two different things, but like you need to know, make a realistic time frame of when you want to get it or when you can expect to get it, because open-ended dreams, open-ended goals don't do anything. There's no power behind them. There's no substance behind them. No matter how much power you give them, if you aren't urgent about it or have that expectancy, nothing's going to come of it. Why do you want it? Is the next question. What are your motivations to wanting your motivation? Which arguably is more powerful and more important than the first motivation. People are gonna like make clips of me and think I'm crazy, right? Again, super, super important. That just speaks for itself. Why do you want it? Like, why are you desperate for this? Say you're a pauper, say you're a poor man, and you want to be wealthy. When do you want to do it? You need to do it urgently because I'm starving to death. And if I don't make some money, I'm going to die. Why do I want it? Because I'm going to die. I've got this family around me. I need to feed them. Like they're going to die. People are counting on me. I need this, right? These are the depths that we want to go to. These you need to go deeper. You need to go deeper with the script, right? Which we'll get into another video. Like script work is hugely important. How will I get it? You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan of action. And again, 9 times out of 10, the script's going to give this to you, but you need to be able to take it further, right? And that's fine. Even if like these events that are happening in your head, like what have you done to get there? What are you planning on doing to get there? How will you get there? That's fine if stuff happens off stage. That's fine. You don't need to show everything on stage. This is more questions for yourself to answer to give you that further character development, right? What do I need to overcome to get what I want? Again, that comes into how will I get it, right? That is the question. It comes to your motivation. Like, what is at stake for you here? What do you have to overcome? Like, the same that poor person scenario, right? Like my family's gonna die. I need to do this and I need to do it quickly. What do I need to overcome to get what I want? Maybe you've got to turn into a hitman and kill someone, and that's eating on you, to get that money. Maybe you've got to steal, which maybe you're an honorable person. Maybe that's really going to hit it hard for you. These questions you have to ask yourselves. You have to further immerse yourself into the character. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you want. You need to have that motivation. You need to have an urgency and a time frame there. And you need to know what steps you're going to do or take to get there. And this applies in life too, doesn't it? Right? But these 7 questions, again, who am I? Where am I? What do I want? When do I want? Why do I want? How will I get it? And what do I need to overcome to get what I want? These are Stanislavski's 7 questions, and are a great tool in character development. They really are. This is one of the first things you learn as an actor in the academic kind of craft. Is Stanislavski? He's always the first teacher you learn, because this is acting 101. This is acting 101. As you progress with time, these things kind of drift into the background and just become nature, and all comes into like immersing yourself into a role. It's almost a given. But definitely for those starting out, for those who haven't learned this before, I hope this was helpful. And the next, maybe you haven't tried this before, the next time you tackle a role, ask yourself these questions, get some answers, and see how it benefits you and your character development, and subsequently your craft moving forwards. Hope this helped.
Tasty.